Hey guys, this is Justin from nextbigtrade.com. Tonight I want to take a look at the cannabis stocks and talk about a few points that I think are worth mentioning about what's going on with this sector right now. The first is, understanding the short attack that took place on Kronos last week. So what happened was Kronos obviously has been a very explosive stock since the canopy growth announcement, and essentially more than doubled over a period of 3 weeks. And then late last week, Citron Research came out, said they were shorting the stock and said it was overvalued, and a couple other things, which basically drove the stock down 30 to 40% over a period of a couple days. And I think the first thing really to understand about this cannabis rally is how young it still is. A lot of people are saying these stocks are already way too overvalued, but this stage two breakout has only been going on for actually exactly 3 weeks to the day of the canopy announcement would be tomorrow. So still a very young stage two advance, and that was one of the reasons I decided to buy shares in Kronos in the nines and in the eights on this big pullback, which leads me into point number two, is that my goal as a stage analysis based trader is to buy as close to the 30-week moving average as I can, because I use the 30-week moving average as my risk line. So basically, this is the area that I'm placing my stop, and the closer I buy to this line, the better risk reward potential I have, because I'm risking a little bit if I buy close to this line to make a lot if it's an explosive stage two rally. So that's why the ideal time to buy is either on the stage two breakout or when we get these periodic pullbacks to the 30-week moving average. Now, in the case of the cannabis stocks, this stage two breakout has been so explosive that I'd be pretty surprised if we had a retest of the 30-week moving average after the initial breakout. Stan Weinstein states that the best two times to buy on the breakout are the breakout itself or on the pullback, but a lot of times in explosive stage two breakouts you don't get a pullback. And when Kronos pulled back to say the $9 level, well, that's only $2 away from the 30-week moving average. So you're potentially risking $2 at that point to make, maybe if the stock doubles from 9, you're gonna make, 9 risking 2. So that's a pretty good risk reward ratio from there. So that's how I size up trades, and you have to understand that, because if you're one of those people that is still chasing stocks when they get too high, well, the problem is that your risk reward is skewed, and if you buy when a stock is too far extended, then where do you put your stop? And a lot of times when stocks have pullbacks after they're extended, the percentage loss can be pretty significant, even though all the stock is doing is pulling back. So that's why it's very important to enter at good risk reward points. And when it's hard to buy is often the best time to buy. So it was pretty hard to buy Kronos after seeing it go down 30 to 40% in like 2 days, but obviously this has turned out to be a great trade even after just a day or so, and I think it's going to continue to be an explosive stock until this stage two rally is over with. And that leads me to the next point, is that even some of the major cannabis producers like Aurora Cannabis are still right around good buy points. If you look at the 30-week moving average here, Aurora Cannabis is only 8.5% above the 30-week moving average. So this stock has just been digesting its initial rally, and the volume has been huge again in this stock, but it's kind of forming a bull flag here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Aurora finally break out and probably start to play a little bit of catch up compared to the other major producers. So, you know, in a typical, at the end of a stage 2 rally, you typically will see almost all stocks in a sector very extended from the 30-week moving average and not just barely above it like they are now. So that's another clue to me that we're still very early in this cannabis stock rally. And which brings me to my, third point is what I'm really looking for is the cannabis stocks to be, most of the major producers to be at least over 100% above the 30-week moving average. And that's going to be a sell signal for me to, start, dramatically reducing my positions and raising cash and taking profits as the market's kind of accelerating into a final, blow off rally. We've seen this happen in the past in the cannabis stocks. I'm looking at Aurora still, and it got to over 150% above the 30-week moving average early this year when it went into a blow off top, and then again there was a major rally in cannabis stocks at the end of 2016. What's interesting is actually a lot of these rallies have occurred at the same time of year, and we're coming up on September, October again here, and also the legalization date for Canada is in October. So I think there's a kind of an interesting coincidence with where this rally might start to finally peter out, and what some of the big events in the cannabis industry are lining up right with it. Now, if you look at Canopy Growth, this stock is already 75% above its 30-week moving average, so definitely getting into extended territory, which is why I've been, still holding my current position, but, definitely not adding to a stock that's this far extended. But again, this stock has topped out twice previously above 100% above the 30-week moving average. And again, the rally is still extremely young, with it only being 3 weeks from the Constellation Brands announcement. And finally, I think a lot of these junior cannabis stocks and a lot of these stocks that have kind of poor fundamentals, and they're kind of like even like stocks that you would never trade, but a lot of times at the end of stage 2 bull rallies, you'll see almost every stock in a sector accelerate higher in like a blow off type of move on massive volume. And Supreme Cannabis is a smaller player, and you saw Supreme Cannabis go up over 100% in 2 weeks at the end of 2017 in a blow off kind of type move, and that's exactly what you see typically at the end of a stage 2 rally. So we're not seeing that kind of movement quite yet, which again leads me to believe that this cannabis rally's got at least probably multiple weeks left in it before it blows off. And of course, nothing is for certain, but if you look at history as a guide and how a lot of these stage 2 rallies take place, that's generally what happens. We saw the same thing in the Bitcoin related stocks last year, where almost every couple days or every week there was a different kind of Bitcoin stock making a massive parabolic move. And finally, when they all were very extended and topping out, you saw a lot of those stocks crashing last December, along with Bitcoin, as it finally topped out as well. So again, for more commentary on the cannabis sector, definitely check out nextbigtrade.com. You can follow me on Twitter at nextbigtrade, and definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet. I'll be definitely making more videos on this sector in the future.